Welcome to the polder landscape of the Netherlands. In the last video I've been to Amsterdam and I bought 2 strains there, and I promised you to make a new video about how the strains are, if I can recommend to visit the coffee shops where we have been. So I decided to take my bike and drive out to the Dutch polder landscape. I'm standing right now on an island which is the biggest artificial island in the world. It's called Flevoland. And it's the newest province of the Netherlands that has been created not even 100 years ago. So what you see around me here all used to be the sea. Back there, far behind, you can see the old land. All those villages and cities over there used to be fishers' villages. All those villages used to live from fishing. But this came suddenly to an end after a big flooding that occurred in the Netherlands. Once and for all, it was decided to close the gap to the sea and create the big Afsluitdijk. It is a huge dam which separates this newly formed body of water, which is sweet water now, and the sea about 100 kilometers above us. I thought this could be the perfect scenery to test our first strain, and here I already have it. The first strain that we got was the chocolate diesel from coffeeshop Crush. So I would say let's start with the test. Like always, we first have a look on it, then I will judge the smell, after that the taste and how it burns, and then 10 minutes later I will tell you if I like the effect or not. We also have a second strain, but we're gonna relocate to another spot where I will show you some old Dutch fisher boats, the very Dutch fisher boats that used to drive over the sea at this very location more than 100 years ago. So let's start with a visual rating. It doesn't look bad. Actually, it looks pretty good. The bud is super dense. It is full of crystals, aka trichomes. But the smell is not very convincing. It smells more like just old herb. So the strain is chocolate diesel, which I assume to be chocolope mixed with diesel. So it looks good, smell is nothing special. That's why I would say let's go over to the practical test and see how it smokes. So the first few puffs are actually very surprising. It tastes super fruity. It burns very good, and the ash also has a pretty nice white color. Okay, that's it. I'm finished. The experience was not bad. I really liked it. It was very smooth. I actually can taste some diesel now out of it. Like always, I'm gonna wait 10 minutes and then I can tell you how the effect will be. We're not gonna waste any time because now I'm gonna take the bike and drive directly to the old fisher boats, and we're gonna have a look on them because there is an exhibition going on right now here. We arrived at our destination. As you can see, I'm here at the harbor and I'm gonna show you now all those historical fisher boats. But before we do that, we will first rate the first strain. All in all, I'm pretty happy with it. It is definitely a diesel because this time I could really taste it out, and it also shows its sativa character. I'm euphoric, I'm happy, it's not too strong. And that's already the point that I want to make here, that it's too expensive. It was 14 euros for something that I could get from an Amnesia Haze for 9 euros. Also, the taste was almost non-existent. There were some slight hints that it was a diesel. So from me, this strain gets a beat here. So this boat behind me here, for example, is from 1903, which means it is 122 years old. This ship survived 2 world wars and is still standing here. It was used as a cargo ship and now serves here in this floating museum. So this sign here says that it is the biggest collection of boat heritage in the world, and this boat is called Cornelia, and it was created for a cheese producer from Purmerend, which is in North Holland. In 1916, its ownership changed to the Jewish company Van Wels, and because Jewish property was confiscated during the Nazi time, also this boat became property of the National Socialist regime that occupied the Netherlands. It's time now for our second strain review. The second strain that we got was from Easy Times and is the Tropicana Cherry. So let's start first with the smell, then with the look, and then we're gonna have the doobie-doo. It smells like candy, it smells like grape, it smells gassy. I also can smell the cherry. So this is definitely terp-wise one of my absolute most favorite strains. I will pin a comment to this video with the shots of both strains where you can see the full buds. So what I noticed first, it is probably the darkest bud that I've ever seen in my whole life. So let's continue with the most important test. I will turn around again and describe to you what I taste and feel. First puff, immediately that super strong, grapey, gassy flavor. It is super good. I really like it. Also the ash is completely white. It is burning very evenly. So what I didn't like about the bud, it was way too dry. You could literally pulverize it, and you can also feel it now here in the smoking experience. So all in all, the taste was pretty okay. I could very strong taste the terps, but on the other hand, it also tasted very dry and old. The sad thing is that it is dominating also the taste of the Tropicana itself, which makes the experience not as good as it could be. Like always, let's wait 10 minutes, let's drive to the last spot. I want to show you something there, and then I can give you the final review. And here you will also now be able to see the difference between the water level on the left side. If you look on the other side, you can see how deep the land is below water level. So we are now around 4 meters below sea level, the dike on my right side and the polder landscape, or the city in this case, on my left side. Before we start with the rating now of the Tropicana Cherry, I want to give you one last thought. Imagine that 100 years ago, 4 meters above us, the fisher boats were driving around on the sea and catching fish. Today, there are people living on the former sea ground here, in the biggest artificial island of the world called Flevoland. So we are back at the water. The sun just set in this very moment. So let's come to the final rating of the season, the Tropicana Cherry from coffee shop Easy Times. Smell, very good. Look, weird. Effect, good. I feel very euphoric. Taste, bad. I still have the foul taste in my mouth as if I was smoking already vaped bud, so I don't really like it. All in all, I would give it, that's difficult. I'm between B and C, but it was definitely worse than a chocolate diesel, so I'm gonna have to give it a C tier. Only D tier is worse, which would literally mean that it's non-smokable. So with this, I want to close the season. We're gonna have a video soon. I'm gonna go to Amsterdam and we're gonna talk about which coffee shops I will recommend for 2025 based on that tier list that we built up in the last half year. Now the tier list.